Let's let's continue with the introduction part. In the subject, we'll explain more about the entrepreneurship and entrepreneur. The factor a person join the entrepreneurship is which as the passion of with business, family business, and through the friend sharing. In addition, must bear your own risk to do any type of business. Zimbri and Scott Bosch at 2000 in 2008. Let's let's continue with the introduction part. In the subject, we'll explain more about the entrepreneurship and entrepreneur. The factor a person join the entrepreneurship is which as the passion of with business, family business, and through the friend sharing. In addition, must bear your own risk to do any type of business. Zimbri and Scott Bosch at 2000 in 2008. Next, we continue 2.0. What is entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is the act of being an entrepreneur who intake innovation, finance, business equipment in an attempt to revert innovation into economic goods. The might and the new organization or is also a part of organization mature organization is respond to a pursuit change. The famous obvious type of entrepreneurships is the beginning new business. The terms has been extended to incorporate social and political varieties of entrepreneurial activities. One entrepreneurship is describing activities among firms or large organizations. It is stand as extrapreneurships and should embrace company venturing once large entertains products organization. The entrepreneurship is outlined as a field for business that seek to know however opportunities to form one things new, like new merchandise, new service, new markets, new productions, processing, and all new material, new ways created by specific technologies, and discovery or created by specific person who then want numerous means that to take advantage to develop them and manufacturing to large range into impact. This is an innovative method concurred to the correcting of an economy enterprises supportly a new brand product or service that's way completely different from the merchandising or service within the method production in organized or in the promoting. This process is also intending a business venturing in new business for form with plans and expectations with financial profits will generate and also have a necessary resources such as employee, raw material, and equipment. The end entrepreneur must have a few characteristics like brave to take risks, innovative, independence, and setting goal, and long-minded and or open-minded terms.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Alia binti Razali. My metric number is 264052, and I'm going to continue my part is 3.0 being entrepreneurial. Entrepreneurial have to worry about what they want to do to make a living as they grow up. If they look around, they will discover that various individuals do various activities to earn money, to look after their families, and lead a decent life. There are two career alternatives, which is wage employment, taking a job and serving the boss for a monthly salary. That is wage employment. And next is self-employment. Self-employment is to start any economic activity or your own being self-employed. In self-employment, Once the activity grows, it can also generate wage employment for others. Then it is called entrepreneurship. The person who practices entrepreneurship is called entrepreneur. So next we move to 4.0, which is entrepreneurships. What is entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is an entrepreneur is an inside entrepreneur or an entrepreneur within a large company who uses entrepreneurial abilities without incurring the risks associated with those activities. Uh, in certain instance, uh, in certain instances, entrepreneurs are willing to work within their organization on a specific initiative that fosters creativity. Another main distinction is that entrepreneurs do not take on as much pressure as traders, and they run into their own inside the company instead of leading ventures. Moreover, entrepreneurship helps practitioners to use current organization funding. If the proposal is greenlit, there is no need to raise money. Mentors also provide ties to entrepreneurs. Within the business, they will learn from managers and others and use them as helpful resources.
Hi, my name is Atika binti Abdurrahman Putra and metric number 264101. I will present the next slide, which is who is an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is a person who starts a new business and creating something new. An individual who discovers market needs and develop new ideas to meet those needs. Entrepreneur is the one that moves outside the comfort zone to learn new skills. For example, Joe Gebbia, the co-founder of the Air, Bed and Breakfast. Who are entrepreneurs? An entrepreneur tend to have a strong internal locus of control. We define that an individual is in charge of own future. In terms of entrepreneur, they assume that their success is decided by the decision they make. Entrepreneurs also have high level of energy and are often impatient. It needs determination, a hard encouragement, and a lot of energy to create a new business out of nowhere and make it a success. Moreover, the entrepreneur is the one who are very confident, is ready, and able to begin and achieve success in a new business. Also, an entrepreneur that have a tolerance for ambiguity. It means that an entrepreneur is able to cope with tension even though they do not know what will happen in the near future. Furthermore, the entrepreneur would want to take accountability for his act, which is self-reliance. They know what they're going to be now and future based on themselves, the outcome of their own choice and actions. Varieties of entrepreneur. First is founder. A person who brings a new firm into existence. They are establishing a business that will be profitable someday. Administrative entrepreneur. An entrepreneur who oversees the operation of an ongoing business. It offers a new opportunity to deal with prevailing or potential conditions in a more effective manner that creates benefit and a competitive edge. Franchisee. An entrepreneur whose power is limited by the contractual relationship with a franchisee organization. Entrepreneur team. Two or more people who work together as entrepreneurs. They have an interest, both financial and indeed, in and dedication to the future and progress of the company.
The next is 7.0 Personal Entrepreneur Competencies. So the first one is initiative. Initiative is lead and initiate a plan. With acting out choice rather than compulsions, taking the lead rather than waiting for others to start. That is personal entrepreneur competencies. So next we move to second one is information seeking. Information seeking is like obtain info. An entrepreneur is able to take action on how to seek information to help achieve business objective, and clarify business problems. The third one is seize and act on opportunities. Opportunities. Of course, an entrepreneur always look for and take action on opportunities. The fourth is persistent. Persistent is a repeated effort. An entrepreneur is able to make repeated efforts or to take different action to overcome an obstacle that get in the way of reaching goals. So the fifth concern of high quality of full attention to detail. Attention to details and observance of established standards and norms. And the sixth is commitment to work contract. It is same goes hardworking lah. Taking personal pain to complete a task as schedule, and entrepreneur places the highest priority on getting a job completed. Efficiency. For number seven is efficiency orientation. Efficiency orientation is like effective way of solving a problem in less time with less money. Concern for conservation of time, money, and effort. A successful entrepreneur always find ways to do things faster or with fewer resources or at a lower cost. Number eight is systematic planning, which plan in advance. Breaking up the complex whole into parts, close examination of the parts, and inferring about the whole. And number nine is problem solving, concerns financial employees and companies. Observing the symptoms, diagnosing, and curing. Successful entrepreneur identities new potentially unique ideas to achieve his goals. Number 10 is self-confidence. Be bold and not overconfident. Not being afraid of the risks associated with businesses and relying on others' capability to successfully manage this. So next, number 11 is assertiveness. Assertiveness is like empathy on employees' welfare, which is conveying empathically one's vision and convince others of its value. For example, confront problem with others directly, tells others what they have to do, reprimands and disciplines those failing to perform as expected. And next is persuasion. For number 12 is persuasion. Persuasion is power to convince customers. It means eliciting support to others in the venture. An entrepreneur can successfully persuade or influence others for mobilizing resources, obtaining inputs, organizing production, and selling his product or services. Next, for the last one is use of influence strategies by networking. Okay, providing leadership, an entrepreneur is able to make use of influential people to reach his business goal. For example, act to develop business contracts, uses influential people as agents to accomplish own objective. Selectively limits the information given to others. Uses a strategy to influence or persuade others. That's all from me.
Hello and Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to Dr. Shah. I'm Leila Shafiqa binti Muhammad Zaini 263897 and we'll be continuing on why become an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is a phase of people starting the businesses, and in the current situation, it is critical on the economic factor which people have willingly or being forced to quit their job by the organization because of the pandemic COVID-19. Next will be the 5 factors that motivate people to become an entrepreneur. First is money, flexibility, control, teamwork, and legacy. First is money. Majority of people think that entrepreneur can make a lots of money and make million like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, and Microsoft. Not many entrepreneur can have achieved like Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg because ambitious entrepreneur with a smart idea have a and they might have a good timing can increase the benefit of their business itself. But being an entrepreneur also have risks on getting disappointed if they don't make profit in the first year of their organization. Next factor will be flexibility. Have, flexibility mean that the owner of the business itself has their own freedom and they don't have restraint from work, meaning they can organize their own schedule, their own timeline, their own process, and everything on their own establishment. Particularly in the early stage of growth, entrepreneurship is extremely demanding. And the third one would be control. Entrepreneur who inspired to be a leader, meaning that they have the privilege on setting the cost of the company, but while getting control, if the company doesn't, if the company fail of the setting cost, the owner have to blame themselves for it because they usually organize the cost for the company. And the fourth one will be teamwork. Creating a team with their own person in mind, meaning that they have to choose the strategic partnership, their mentor, their core team to become an independent entrepreneur, or they can outsourcing by hiring contract auditor. So the owner have to create this teamwork within the team in the organization. The last one will be legacy, meaning that want something meaningful to create that will outlast, meaning that legacy is a long term business that people usually want to keep it in the future for their family and peers of friends. It's also become the strongest motivation because it must be something that is unachievable in any other application. Next will be reason why people choose to become an entrepreneur. Over the more traditional path of becoming employees, only we can decide the life that is right for the future, but it comes with uncertainty because entrepreneur can decide what they want in their life, although they know do not know the future will become whether the economic increases or declining. Like right now, many businesses have been shut down because of the economic factor. These are the reason. There are 6 reasons actually why individual become an entrepreneur. First is imagination does not suit the business well, meaning that they grow not to fit. They grow to accept not fitting into the business society the way all their peers and family, meaning that they want to become something else. They don't want to be the same person, the same business, and doesn't have the future strategy. The second one is way of life that's not constrained, meaning that entrepreneur is hard work, but freedom to shape their life, meaning that if you are the owner of the establishment, you have the freedom for your own work hours, for what you want, for what product you can achieve, from what goals you can concentrate it on. But it also take hard work for the established to become stable in their market. And the third one is love for learning. As an entrepreneur or as a human, knowledge is unlimited, meaning that everyone can gain knowledge, doesn't matter where they are or doesn't matter what they learn. Knowledge is everything. And the fourth one would be thought are not conventional, meaning that entrepreneurs are the one who want to change the world, who want to make something else for the future, want to create something new for people to achieve, imagine, to drawn out their creativity. And the fifth one is like thinking to be done, meaning that ourself unsatisfied with life that relegates you to the sidelines or the background, meaning that entrepreneur may be the right path for us, meaning that we are not satisfied as people get it done. We want to hands on ourselves to the product itself. Okay, and the last one is want the world to improve, thinking about the future ahead in 20 years from now, meaning that entrepreneur always think about what will happen in the future, what will happen 5 years until now. If, for example, if I'm a student, and what futures lie ahead 10 years from now, what I will be. Will I be a manager? Will I be a supervisor? Nobody knows. By an entrepreneur, they must think ahead to make their market in a long term business. And we have the advantage and disadvantage of being an entrepreneur, because entrepreneur have their own pro and cons. For the advantages, we have freedom, flexibility, control, and profits. For the freedom, for the advantages, freedom, there's no denying that the complete freedom they have do not their own. The advantage, freedom. Their entrepreneur, her or he or she, being an entrepreneur, also have the pro and cons on being an entrepreneur. Meaning the advantage, we have freedom, flexibility, control, and profits. For the disadvantages, we have responsibility, risk, workload, and limitation. Okay, first is the advantages. Freedom. What the meaning of freedom? Meaning that there's no denying that the complete freedom they have to do their own things is one of the best part of becoming an entrepreneur. Meaning that from the previous slide, they can make their own job, their own things, and their own timeline. Nobody will force them to make out of their comfort zone. And the second one, flexibility. With all the additional duty become flexibility, the journey could be as easy as walking to the sofa or taking a walk to the local coffee shop, meaning that they don't force people to become creative. They are very flexible on additional duty, meaning that if you feel stressed, you can go out for a walk or go take a coffee or take a donut or take a small time to relax itself. And the third one will be control. Many budding businessmen value control. It takes heavy lifting to get their own venture off the ground. One of the most exciting part of being an entrepreneur is to have influence over the company direction, meaning that they have to take control and take in charge and become a leader so that their business can fly from the ground, meaning that they can meaning that they can successfully start their own business. And the last one for advantages is the profit. their profit can slide into their own pocket. Instead of making others richer, many new entrepreneurs on their path of success, this can be incredibly motivating, meaning that their business, the profit can go to to their own pocket, meaning that if I open a cafe and I have 3,000 profit that day, so the 3,000 profit that day minus plus minus the cost, the overhead costs, the raw item cost, meaning that the profits can go into my pocket per day. So we know that's why many entrepreneur and many people are motivated to become an entrepreneur or small business. And now are the disadvantage, meaning that we have responsibility, risk, workload, and limitation. Responsibility. To become an entrepreneur, first the future of their company is not only in their hands but also to their next paycheck. It is also to it is tough to move away from a salary job to an unstable account, meaning that if you work for other people, you know you by the end of the month you get your own salary. But but become an entrepreneur, we doesn't know what's how many sale today, how many sale tomorrow. So the profit or the income for the month will become fluctuated, as today might get more, but tomorrow we don't might get less. Okay. So the next advantages is risk. They will take on a large part of risk with starting a new venture as the company owner, meaning that each each thing that we do also have risk, meaning that whether the risk come early or the risk come late. Next will be workload. To have a new company and running needs serious hustle. It can be daunting for one person to do all the heavy lifting, although it can be an enjoyable moment full of potential, and it can be overwhelming as well. It's true because to become entrepreneur, meaning that to become a businessman or businesswoman, we have a lot of document data. We have to a survey to know what product or what market should the business be. Meaning that if in our area have Pizza Hut, we have Domino's, have US Pizza, why must our company open a pizzeria? So we have a lot of competitors, we have a lot of competition, and we also have to struggle to make profits. Why not open a new or something rare people doesn't get in that area itself? Because it have a lot of work to make this new company. And lastly is limitation. It can feel somewhat different to the truth of the nation of running their own company. So sometimes if we become a normal employee, we have lots of idea what to do, because we have our own job scope and we can concentrate on it. But if you become an entrepreneur, you become the head, you become the center of the establishment. Sometimes it can be limited. We have to take suggestions of other people. Sometimes we feel that it doesn't fit the criteria. It feels not enough to.
Most common sources of entrepreneur failure. First is poor management skills. Poor management skills result in high staff rate, turnover, recruiting, and training costs become prohibitive, which can hinder the capacity of business to sustain operation. Second, lack of adequate capitalization. This will arise if the business does not produce adequate cash flow or is unable to obtain resources or capital such as leverage or equity. Product or services problems. Product or services problem could result in customer complaint, refund, and having a bad reputation for business. Last, external market condition. External market conditions such inform the nature of the undertaking, its practices, the capacity to organize, core capital, the circulation and use of goods and services.
Okay, next is about small businesses. Small businesses meaning is small business is categorized as an organization that is less than 500 jobs, meaning that less than 500 employee in the establishment. There are a few facts on small business that should be taken note. Okay. First point is paying student debt. Self-employed entrepreneur with student loan debt hire only 2 workers, while those without student loan debt hire an average of 9 people, meaning that entrepreneurs have their own limitation, have their limitation on hire workers, as some entrepreneurs have to pay their own loan and some entrepreneurs don't have student loans, so they can hire more people for their establishment. And next would be fast process. The percentage of small businesses that fail is about 20% in their first year. To start a business, to become an entrepreneur, small business sometimes come from trends, meaning like the latest trend is bubble shoot bubble bee. Should eat ice cream with honey and honeycomb and ice cream. But the previous trend is teh sedap, meaning that boba tea. And the last trend would be OOTD, meaning the outfit of the day. So small business can become a trend if the trend lasts longer for the long term, so their business can move forward and survive their first year of the business. Next would be lack of demand. If people aren't willing to pay for it, you won't be able to stay in business. Meaning that we are a new product, we are new in the market, so people doesn't know our name and we don't advertise or marketing our own company, so people doesn't know, people doesn't buy. Let's say if in our area have 5 stall of nasi lemak, then we become a new market to join selling also nasi lemak. So why people should buy from us when they already have buy from these 5 sellers that have been long in the area? That's why we are lack of demand. And the fourth one would be family business. Family-owned small businesses are one of the most classic kind of business. Family business can be great investment for investor or lender. Meaning that you have your own family business, meaning a cafe or hotel or food and beverage food chain. So we can continue the business as a legacy. Or if you want to open a new business, your family can support to be your investor or lender to support your business for the first year. And lastly is home-based. Home-based business idea can include freelance writing, or designing, data entry, tutoring, video producing, and more. Meaning that online work, home-based idea, meaning that you can data entry by email or WhatsApp, Telegram. You can tutor by WhatsApp, online tutoring, or now during the pandemic, people buy online, sell online, teach online, also have class online. So it's a change on the era before and the era now, current era. And last and next is reason why these small businesses are important to the society. If people open business, it also provide opportunity for entrepreneur, jobs of neighbor, and great gathering place for community. Meaning that entrepreneur open a new business, they can provide jobs for the community and also give place for people together. It's a win-win situation for all. And this is the reason autonomy and independence, small business ownership, bucks trend of large company consolidating. Next will be creating significant jobs, as it creates a significant percentage of new jobs, and the jobs they create provide high level of job satisfaction. And the third one, local community integral parts help to develop financial independence, network that encourage broad-based growth. And lastly is the advantage and disadvantage of having small business ownership. The advantage is independent, meaning that they become their own manager and they make the choices for the establishment. Next is financial gain. Financial gain is owning your own corporation elimi- eliminates the salary limitation that happens when you are an employee of someone else. And the third one is equity. Owning several firms across their time life is not unusual for entrepreneur. To fund the next company, the proceed from this transaction will then be used. And the last for advantages is opportunity, because entrepreneur provide a possible for a new person to make a new contribution. The local community is boosted by newest entrepreneur. And advantages. Advantages have time commitment, risk, uncertainty, and financial commitment. Time com- Time commitment, meaning this leave the owner with all the tasks and obligation. The owner have to struggle by their own, have to manage their own time, have everything to themselves. Next is risk, particularly if the company has been designed to mitigate the owner vulnerability and responsibility. Risk will not be avoided entirely. It's true. Everything have risk. Even you you go out have risk of pollution, risk of being kidnapped, risk of being everything. And the third one is uncertainty. The corporation could be competitive at the onset. External factors such as economic downturn, new rival entry the industry, or changes in customer demand may slow the growth of firm. As right now, the pandemic occurs, so it becomes an external factor of economic downturn. Also, if you enter the industry, you become a new rival for other older company, such as the example of pizzeria. You have Domino's, you have Pizza Hut, then you open a pizzeria, which you become a new rival entry to the industry for Pizza Hut and Domino's. Then the change in customer demand. Maybe people usually taste Pizza Hut, usually taste Domino's, then you open a pizzeria. So people sometimes feel tired of tasting, oh, just pizza, oh, later we buy another pizza. So in that month, not usually people eat many pizza in 1 month. And lastly is financial commitment. A certain amount of money is needed to bring the smallest of business project. It is financial investment. Not all developer are able to make to gamble the equity of one house. Okay, thank you.